What is going on, guys? Ryan from Livin here. It is the end of 2025 and we went to lots of boat shows this year. So we're gonna go ahead with our top 5 best boats that we did walkthroughs of in 2025. Jumping in right away at number 5, we have from the Stuart Boat Show, the Pear Customs 28. Welcome everybody to the 2024 Stuart Boat Show. Today we are at the Pear Customs booth taking a look at their 28-foot offshore center console. Hop on aboard, let's come take a look. As always, with our boat walkthrough videos, we're gonna go ahead and start in the bow of the boat. Taking a look at this 28 Pear Customs, which it is the first time I've actually seen one of these boats at a boat show, so I'm very excited to be showing it to you guys here today. So up here in the bow of the boat, like most boats, you're gonna go ahead and find the anchor locker. Now this is gonna be a nice finished anchor locker. No windlass on this boat currently. I'm sure it's probably an option if you'd like. Now in the bow area, we aren't gonna have any bow seating over here, but we are gonna have coaming bolsters going all the way around the front, along with a low profile handrail over here that you can hold on to in the really rough seas. Really nice to see that here on this 28 Pear Customs. Now up here in the bow, we are going to have one in-floor hatch, which is going to be quite the large in-floor hatch. Looks like this is going to be insulated, perfect fish box to keep all those fish, ice it down, run over the Bahamas or anything like that. Now, one thing that really did catch my attention on this Pear Customs boat is going to be this forward facing bow seating. Now this is going to be a coffin box style, which, as you guys know, I really like this style of seating. We're going to hop up real quick. You have space for 2 people. It is a little wet because it just rained, so I'm going to fully hop on. But you're going to have fold down armrest up here. But what's really cool about this is what's going to be underneath. Now this coffin box seating is going to be fully removable, just like so. And underneath this, you actually have a really heavy duty live wall, which is going to be really cool. Pretty heavy to open, but take a look at that live wall. That is really nice to have here on this 28-foot boat. Very impressive to see that they incorporated this coffin box style on the 28-foot boat, and they did it really well. My only thing would be that I would love to see this be a fish box maybe, with a handle maybe towards the front where you can lift it on up instead of a live well. I don't see us using live baits off the bow that often to have this big of a live well up here, but it is really nice to see. I'm sure it can be a fish box too, maybe. Have to talk to some people about that here, but really cool to see that they incorporated this on a 28-foot boat. Now, one thing I did want to point out was that we do have some deck drains actually that go across the bow. Just nice to see that they thought about the drainage on the deck. Like I said, it goes all along the side gunnels. So as we make our way towards the stern of the boat, we are going to have another in-floor hatch here. This is going to be on the port and starboard side of the boat. They're not going to be huge hatches, as you can see here, but perfect for those long fish, long skinny fish, maybe like your kingfish, mahi, wahoo. Not going to be too big of a wahoo that fits in here because not too long of a hatch, but still nice to have. Like I said, you have that on the port and starboard side as well. We're also going to have a little bit of under gunnel storage over here. You can see very traditional, perfect for your boat brushes, gaffs, poles, any of that kind of stuff. Now this boat is going to have a 22-degree dead rise, so it's going to cut very nicely through those waves, but with that significant dead rise, you're only going to have a 9.3 beam. It's not bad for a 28-foot boat. You will find boats this size that are a little bit bigger beam than that. Just helps you a little bit with stabilization on the water, rocking side by side, but in contrast, you have a better riding boat. Now let's check out the cabin on this 28 Pear Customs boat. Let's hop right in. Now the first thing I noticed when I first came in here was this wiring job. If you really want to tell a quality boat, take a look at their wiring. Pear Customs did not short out on this. This is very professionally done. You can see everything that they did here. It's all exposed, so they're not trying to hide anything, which is nice, because a lot of times on the lower quality boats, they're gonna hide all this stuff behind hatches. They don't want you to see their wiring job. So when a boat manufacturer keeps it exposed like that, you know they're proud of the work they do. So you can see in here, we got the batteries in these nice little battery boxes. We're gonna have a ladder fold away in here. It's an unfinished cabin. You can see it's not a smooth, glossy finish, but everything in here looks to be pretty top shape. I mean, it's not going to be a huge cabin for a 28-foot boat, but I don't think that people looking to buy this kind of boat are going to worry about the size of the cabin. Now, checking out the helm station, my favorite part of any boat. So we're going to have a smaller console here, which is going to be appropriate for this boat, because like I said, a little bit smaller of a beam, 9.3 beam. You're going to want a smaller console so you have more room to walk around the gunnels there. They're not going to have any electronics equipped on this boat yet, but they're going to have plenty of room for maybe 2 screens, a stereo control, and everything over here. We're going to have an acrylic windshield up here, pretty traditional. Got 2 little cup holders, which is nice. It looks like there is a little place to put your phone up on the front, right over here, which is nice. A little far away, I might add, but it would be nice if it was a little closer, but at least they included something for it. Up here in the T-top, we're going to have our storage electronics box, maybe for some VHF radio, stereo controls, any of that kind of stuff. Looks like it's going to be unfinished, but there is going to be some wiring that we could take a look at back there. From what I could see, it looks pretty clean, which is nice to see. You're going to have your switch panel over here, your throttle controls, and your steering wheel as well. We're going to have a little storage under here. Perfect spot actually for your phone. I take it back. They got spots for your phone, just not on the deck. Well, it's always important that you keep your captain comfortable. That's why having a very nice helm seating is very important. So we are going to have the bench captain hybrid over here, as I like to call it, where you're going to have some foldable cushions over here for the port and starboard side, but it's all going to be connected as one with a very nice flat bench style backrest. This is going to be really perfect and ideal for a captain that wants to be sitting down while driving. I could see plenty over here. Or if you'd like to stand up, simply fold this back just like so. We got armrests on either side. Very comfortable helm seating they have on this Pear Customs boat. Taking a look at our tackle center here on this center console. Up here on the T-top, looks like we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rod holders. We're going to have 2 going out the side, a little kingfish style for trolling baits out the side. We're gonna have a nice leg set over here where you're gonna have handlebars to hold onto for your passengers in the rear over here. We're gonna have 4 more rod holders, which looks like you're actually gonna have space for more pliers or knives or anything like that, with some cup holders mixed into there. Very nice universal little addition to this tackle center. Right below it here, we're gonna have almost like a little deck space over here that you can just kind of throw any of your miscellaneous stuff right onto. You're also going to have some more storage. So we got some tackle storage in this one. We're going to have some pull-out drawers, some spaces to throw in any weights or lures or anything you'd like to use. And we're going to have some more drawers here on the bottom as well. Now we are going to have 3 in-floor hatches here in the stern of the boat, 2 on the port and starboard side. You can see these are going to be very similar to the midship hatches. These are going to be just longer. Not super long, but they're going to be perfect for those long skinny fish. Like I said, mahi, kingfish, tuna, any of that kind of stuff can go in these hatches. Not super long, which actually does bring up a good point that there isn't a ton of long fish storage on this boat. I've noticed that front coffin box is more of a live well. The in-floor one isn't super long, so if you catch a big tuna or you're a big tuna fisherman or short fisherman, I'm not sure if there's a ton of storage for that big of fish. You can definitely hold lots of snappers and all that kind of stuff, so if you're more of a bottom fisherman like that, perfect amount of fish box area for you, but maybe those longer fish, you might have a little bit of trouble finding storage for it on this boat. And the best way to tell quality of a boat is to take a look and dive into their bilge area. So that's going to be a really nice access hatch right here in the middle of the cockpit area of this 28 Pear Customs, and we're going to dive right inside here. Taking a look, you can see all the work is very, very clean on this boat. I will admit it's a very nice bilge area. Let's take a full 180 there. You can check out all their wiring, double hose clamps on things, everything zip tied nice and neat. Surprisingly enough, I've seen some stuff at this boat show already that has really scared me with wiring. Can't believe they brought stuff to the show like that. Like I said, I'm not the one that calls out a bunch of manufacturers on their stuff, but just don't come to the boat show looking like a bird's nest of wires. But they did a very nice job keeping the wiring very clean here on this Pear Customs boat. Now let's talk about the cockpit space on this 28-foot boat. You got tons of room to walk around, which is really nice. You're gonna have a nice little curved out area with the coaming bolsters here in the stern. Gonna keep you nice and locked into the boat. It feels like a great place to fight the fish right off the back of the boat, which is really cool. We're also gonna have one transom live well back here. So there's gonna be tons and tons of live well storage for you guys. So if you do a lot of live bait fishing, this seems like it'd be a pretty good boat for you, to be honest. But this live well is huge, which is really nice to see in the transom. Like I said, maybe a little bit more fish box room would have been nice on this boat. That's probably my only complaint so far. Now towards the transom of this boat, we are gonna have storage for 3 more rod holders on this transom rod rack over here. Really nice to see. Now standing on the swim platform, very, very clean back here. There's not wires and stuff going everywhere, which is really nice to see. Not really a tripping hazard. I would say if you're a spear fisherman or anything like that, this would be a nice boat because there's tons of room to throw your flippers on back here or spear guns or any of that kind of stuff. Now this boat's going to be powered by twin Yamaha 350s. It's going to get you up on plane, get you your fishing spots. Really, really good, nice and reliable motors. Nice to see on this 28 Pear Customs. Now I do want to note before revealing the price to you guys, this boat is equipped with the Seakeeper Ride trim tabs. If you guys have seen me use those, I'm going to go ahead and link that video at the end of today's video. They're very, very impressive and significantly improve the ride of any boat, no matter the quality. So nice to see they included on the Pear Customs boat. Now the moment you guys have been waiting for, the price of this 28-foot offshore fishing center console. This one here, Boat Show Special, is going to ring you $215,000. MSRP is about $250,000. You're getting a really nice boat, to be honest, for that price. Like I said, my only complaint was storage for a little bit longer fish. You know, if you're a big tuna fisherman, sword fisherman, or even down here in South Florida, we do a lot of trolling, catch some big kingfish with big wahoo. You might have a little bit harder time finding storage just to keep those fish straight. But other than that, this is a really, really nice boat. It seems like a great quality. Built in North Carolina, which is why we don't see them a lot at these boat shows down here in South Florida. But they just signed on with Lindsay Marine, I believe it was, here in Stuart, Florida. Now this boat I particularly liked because it just had a really clean finish, and it was a brand, honestly, I never heard of before the Stuart Boat Show. And they make a really nice boat, and I really loved checking it out. Now on to number 4, we have the Pathfinder 26 TRS at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show 2025. Welcome everybody to the first boat show of the 2025-2026 season. Today we are at the Pathfinder booth taking a look at their all new 26-foot center console. Guys, this is the ultimate and in my opinion best at show for the new hybrid slash bay boat kind of category that is plenty offshore capable. This is an awesome boat. You guys have to hop aboard and take a look. What is going on, guys? Ryan from Livin here, and today is my first time actually making a video of a Pathfinder boat. It has been requested a few times and I've been wanting to come check them out, and they have an all new model here, the 26 here at the show, so I was super stoked to be stopping by this morning. As always, let's go ahead and start in the bow. So we do have a little option for some seating over here, which you guys can see is fully removable, but is very comfortable when it is here. They do have a little slide system here for their upholstery that you could see instead of buttons or magnets, which I haven't seen before, and it seems pretty cool. But it makes it really easy to remove all this upholstery and turn this huge casting platform into all this walking space over here. Now this is going to be perfect for when you're trying to throw your casting nets, or maybe you're trying to just get up a little higher and see some fish and cast out upon the horizon. It's going to be clear of any clutter and super easy to walk around, and it's going to make for an awesome fishing platform or a comfortable ride. Now this boat, as equipped here at the boat show, is going to come with a power pole move trolling motor. We're also going to have our anchor locker in the front, which you're probably not going to be using as often with the trolling motor equipped on this boat, but is necessary to have for the Coast Guard. Now we have a lot of storage up here in the bow of the boat. So first off, very most forward compartment is actually going to be a little pitch well, which I can already see fishing in the bay in the Indian River Lagoon here in Florida. Load that thing up with some pilchards and go toss them out here in the front. You don't have to worry about going to the back of the boat to get to your live bait. Having it right here in the front, super easily accessible, and just gives you more time with your bait in the water. Now right behind that, we are going to have another hatch that is going to be open up. That is going to be a little bit of storage. So this looks like some nice dry storage right here. You can see kind of goes into some other storage compartments right there. Perfect to throw maybe a life jacket or two, or I'd probably throw my backpack for the day right in this compartment. So we have two configurations set up right here for the port and starboard side. You can see the port side, we have our upholstery up, we have our backrest up, perfect for running out on the water, maybe have a couple family members out for the day. That is one configuration. Second configuration is going to be your fishing day. You can see we have no upholstery, we don't have our backrest up. Underneath, we do have some storage. So this is going to be insulated storage over here. You can put some fish in there if you want, but there actually is one box up here, which I'll show you in 1 second, that is a dedicated fish box that's actually double insulated and macerated. But this storage goes back pretty deep and connects to that middle compartment that I showed you guys before. Now you can see that we do have this big, nice looking wooden table actually here that is fully removable, but you do want to have this out on those a little bit more comfortable sandbar days. But like I said, when it's a fishing day, this is coming up and getting left at the dock. Right underneath this is going to be a little hard to see with the table, but this is going to be that double insulated dedicated fish box that I told you guys about. So sneaky guys on in there, you can see it goes pretty far back actually. Like I said, double insulated fish box that is macerated. If you guys don't know what macerators do, but they basically hold the ice and the water in the box, and then when you're ready, you can flip a switch on your switch panel and it'll shoot it all out to the side. So if you're looking to get rid of some blood from a fish, you can shoot it out to the side, and it just really helps keep your fish as cold as possible in this box. We are going to have one more in-floor box here in the front, which is going to be access to some of our through holes and actually our batteries as well. Lastly, in the bow here, we have our forward console seat, which is going to be sitting on top of a cooler, which is nice compared to having your traditional molded in console seat. This is fully removable, so you can take it on and off with your drinks or your fish. It is a nice option here on this boat and a very comfortable seat. So as we make our way towards the stern of the boat, on the port side, you are going to have some rod holder storage, which is cut out of the T-top. And you guys can already see we have a second station on this boat, and that definitely caught my eye. And if we look at the starboard side, we don't have any rod holder storage on the side, but that is because this is where our cabin is. Hopping into our cabin here, looks like it is pretty basic. We do have a porta potty in there. We have access to our battery switch. Looks like we have some storage for some accessories here on the boat. And we do have a blinder here, which we are of course going to snap off and take a look at what they have going for their wiring on this boat, because that is very important when you're looking to buy a boat. I see some labels. I see pretty decent wiring here. Everything actually looks pretty neat and orderly. Like I said, we got labels on stuff. You guys can probably see a little better than I can, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. But from what I could see here in this blinder, it's looking pretty good. One attention to detail that I do want to point out is the fact that they put this marine mat kind of padding here on the side. These holders, the undergarden storage, can be used for boat brushes and stuff typically, but you can store your rods over here. And this is great so that your reels aren't hitting the side of the gunnel. Not going to scratch them up, kind of helps protect them a little bit. But that kind of attention to detail is really nice to see on this boat. Now, if this boat hasn't been eye-catching enough to you yet, we'll just take a look at the helm station over here. Looks like we have twin 12-inch Garmins over here, followed by a toggle switch panel, which I noticed on another boat. I'm not sure if this is a trend that's coming back to go away from push button or rocker switches, but more toggle switches, which looks cool here on this boat. All black dash, looks great. We have wireless phone charger. Looks like it's powered by a Yamaha. We are going to have a jack plate control on here as well. And we have our power pole move trolling motor control here. Looks like we are going to have a little glove box that's conveniently placed. Looks like they put their trolling motor remotes and stuff in here. But overall, the aesthetic here at the console is super cool looking and looks like you have everything you need very conveniently. Now before we make our way up into the stand-through station there, I'm going to show you guys our helm seat. So they have a really traditional style bench seat over here, which I like. Simplicity is good sometimes, and this is really going to do the job. One really cool feature on this though is that this backrest is actually going to be fully removable. So look how much more room you have to walk around, to maybe swing a rod around the back. However kind of situation you want to use it for, this backrest is fully removable. Super easily too, slips right in and out. A great option here on this Pathfinder. Now the moment you guys have probably been waiting for, and me too to be honest, we're heading up to the second station. All right, and we have made our way up to the second station. Let me tell you, you're not gonna be doing that quickly or maybe in rough waters, but you are up here, and it does feel very safe and secure. You can see we have this super nice seat, nice bench style seat, which I will point out all the upholstery on this boat is super comfortable as well. Kind of like sink down into it and you feel very safe and secure. You have a little footrest to even hold yourself in. I mean, if you guys are out on the water, this is where you're gonna wanna be 99% of the time. We have a nice all black Edson wheel here. You have a little Garmin, looks like a 9-inch screen. You have control for your jack plate. I mean, everything you'd want up here, rod holders, cup holders, you have it. Super safe, secure, even a little glove box. This is the spot to be here on the 26 Pathfinder, and honestly, here at the boat show. I do want to point out, I did mention there was a stand through before, but it's not really, it's more of a second station. You can see it is going to be an unobstructed view for people down there because of this platform. You're not standing on top of the console. This is a separate platform you're standing on. I don't think that was a blooper reel. I think that was pretty good. Now before we get to the stern of the boat, underneath our helm seat, we are going to have a really nice fold out tackle storage here. Looks like for 4 Plano fish boxes. And then we are going to have a little tilt out on the side that is going to be your control for your batteries. Now here on the 26 Pathfinder TRS, which actually stands for third row seating, this is how the cockpit of this boat is equipped. So we're going to have one live well over here, which is going to be a big clear lid, aquarium style, I like to call it, with a little view there. Live well, which could be perfect for everybody fishing in the stern. I will point out that they actually use a boat rub rail here as like, I guess a little accent piece or something to kind of, when you're walking around, it rubs against your leg. Honestly, I'm not sure the functionality of it, but it is a really nice accent piece to the boat. We're also gonna have a little pull-out tackle station over here. We are gonna have 2 rod holders here on the back, and if you do remove your backrest here, you're gonna have 2 more rod holders. And then up on the T-top, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 rod holders with 2 going out the side for trolling some lines. Now don't forget, we have more rod holders on top of the second station. We got 2 on the back and then 2 more on the port and starboard side. Plenty of rod holders on this boat for whatever kind of day it is. So you guys remember how I said this is the 26 TRS third row seating? Well, this is the third row of seating. You can pull it back towards the bow of the boat, and then you can simply flip it up, and you have room for 2 people to sit here at least, probably 2 or 3 if you're smaller. You have little grab bars on the side, super comfortable. This is where you're gonna wanna be, honestly, if you're running some rough weather. Always better to be towards the back of the boat. This is gonna be a very comfortable ride. And it very easily stows away and can become a huge fishing platform here in the stern of the boat. Now the way this model is equipped, on the starboard side of the boat, you're going to have 1 fish box here on the side. And then we are going to have an identical hatch to that on the port side of the boat, which when we flip open, you will see is actually a live well. So that's going to make 3 live wells on this boat, all very big, might I add. 1 on the port side, 1 behind the helm seat, and then the little pitch one up on the bow. Plenty of a live well for all your needs. Finally, our last hatch here in the stern, we'll open it up and it will be a little bit of storage, which will turn into your bilge access. Simply, we can remove this little cubby, and it opens up room for you to get to all your pumps. You can see some freshwater and saltwater pumps. We have fuel water separators. You can also get a little bit of an idea of the rigging of this boat, wiring and everything. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think of this here? You have pretty good access. The only thing I will say is that this is a pretty small entrance to get in here, and this does go down pretty deep. I mean, you guys can see, we'll get down for you. That is me touching the bottom right there. So I'm a full arm's width in there. So if you do have to change something down there, you're not fitting your whole body in there and you can just barely reach the bottom. So a little bit bigger of a bilge access, a little easier is my only request with this boat so far. Other than that, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Now over here towards the transom of the boat, we're gonna have 2 more rod holders on the starboard side and 2 more on the port. Now, one of the main things you're gonna notice back here is we have these 2 big poles sticking out the back. And if you aren't familiar, those are power poles, which are basically little anchors that are gonna go from this position, go out and dig themselves into the ground. So when you're in shallower water, I'm not sure the exact length, but probably up until like 10 feet or so, it'll hold you completely anchored in place without having to have spot lock on your trolling motor or without having to deploy a traditional anchor. This boat is also going to be on a jack plate over here, which allows the motors to move up and down. So you have trim that's on the motor already equipped that goes this way. The jack plate allows your motor to go up and down, which allows you to get into skinnier water, which is really great for those bay fishing days. Now this boat, as equipped, is going to have a Yamaha 350, but it is rated up to 450 horsepower. So this thing is going to fly. Now, the moment I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for, how much can this new 26-foot Pathfinder be yours for? Well, before we get into that, on the outside of the boat, this boat is a step hull, which is gonna give your boat a little bit more lift, gets the boat out of the water, which is gonna reduce drag, give you a little bit more fuel efficiency, maybe a little bit more top speed, but it is really cool hull design on this boat. Now, the price of this boat, well, this brand new at the boat show 26-foot Pathfinder TRS can be yours for a boat show special of $237,000. So it is a very nice boat. It does come at a price tag, of course. Guys, the prices of new boats here, this is what we're seeing here at the show. But one thing I can tell you, this is my first Pathfinder I've done, and I'm very impressed by their quality. Their fit and finish is really good, very innovative ideas. I really like what they did the boat here, truly. And big kudos to Pathfinder. This is a beautiful boat. This boat was packed with tons of great features, which I really loved. And honestly, out of all of like the bay hybrid boats that came out in the past year, this was probably one of my favorites. Now onto number 3, we have the Tidewater 30 from the Miami International Boat Show. Welcome everybody to the Miami International Boat Show 2025. Today we are at the Tidewater booth looking at their all new 30-foot offshore fishing center console. This boat is absolutely built to fish at a price that is going to absolutely shock you. I can promise you that. Hop on board and let's take a look. As always with all of our boat walkthrough videos, let's go start up at the bow. What is going on, guys? Ryan from Livin here. We are back at another boat show, and very nice to be in the Tidewater booth again for our 3rd Tidewater walkthrough video. Today, this is our brand new model. Just unveiled that this boat is actually a prototype. This boat's going to be their testing boat, not going to be hull number 1 sold to the public. So that's something pretty cool, and we're going to talk about a couple changes they're going to make before this is sold to the first customer. But we've got a lot of boat to cover here today, so let's go start up in the bow with our anchor locker. So you can open up our hatch and take a look that we have a through bow windlass anchor. Nice to see that they were able to tuck away this windlass in this hatch, along with having the anchor through the bow. Very cool. And we also have a really big platform that you'll be able to stand up on up here towards the bow of the boat. In case you want to throw any cast nets or anything up here, you have plenty of room to do so and walk around. Maybe you're at the sandbar with your family and friends, you want to jump off the bow of the boat, you can do so up here. Now the 10/8 beam on this boat is really showing as we make our way towards the stern. I mean, this boat is absolutely massive for a 30-foot boat, and it's unbelievable, and you really have to be in person to truly experience it. But we're going to have a really nice U-shaped, or almost actually like a V-shaped, the way it's pointed in here, seating, which is going to be really comfortable. You can fit plenty of people here. They're also going to have integrated backrest to our seating. So in case you'd like to be a forward-facing passenger and see those waves coming on, you could do so. And it's a very comfortable and good upholstery quality on this boat. We're going to have some speakers tucked away in the cushions here, along with some cup holders for all your passengers and little pouches on the side to store all your belongings, your phone and your keys and wallets and all that kind of good stuff. Now all these cushions up here are actually going to be held on by magnets, which is something that a lot of boat manufacturers are starting to do in the industry now. Takes away those need for the snaps and also makes for a smooth surface, so that way you don't accidentally stub your toe or something on a snap, which nobody likes to do. Underneath our seating though, we are going to have a hatch for some storage. You can see a nice, looks like an insulated box here with some storage that goes pretty deep on in there. We're also going to have a pad underneath that's going to make for a soft close on the hatch so it doesn't slam down. Now, one cool way that we are able to transform the bow seating experience on this 30-foot Tidewater is by this collapsible table. So we're going to touch an electronic button and this table is going to fold on up. Here we go. A little slow, but we got our table up. And it is going to have a matching seat there that you could place right on top. And they said that this could actually be a casting platform. So you could stand on this, you can sit on it, you can make for a full lounging seating experience. I mean, just think about the amount of people, amount of good times you can have up here. Not to mention that you take the cushion off and now you have a nice table for you to eat your sandwiches and your lunch and put down your drinks. Overall, it just changes the whole dynamic of the bow seating experience, makes for a really family-friendly boat, along with keeping some nice fishing features. Now, in case that wasn't enough seating for you, we have a coffin box seat over here, which you can comfortably fit 2 people. We're gonna have some armrest along the side, which is gonna make just the seat that much more comfortable. They even got a little custom Tidewater pillow for you. So just adds to the seating experience in the front. Not only does it add to the seating experience, but you also get some more storage. If we open up this massive cough box here, you can take a look inside and you have tons of room to load this thing down with fish. So those long range offshore trips, because I believe you have 289 gallons of fuel capacity in this boat, you're gonna wanna run to the Bahamas. You're gonna wanna go to Pulley Ridge. You're gonna be wanting to do these really cool trips on this very offshore capable boat. You need to have somewhere to store those fish, and this fish box is the perfect place to do so. Now, one thing to note, for the actual version, they're going to have a pad over here that's going to make for a softer close, but since it's a prototype and they just got it out in time for the show, it has a little bit harder of a close for now. Now, as we make our way towards the cabin and the helm of this boat, one thing I did notice is that there are actually no in-floor hatches in the ground over here, which I'm a little surprised, but there is going to be a lot of other storage options for you, so I guess maybe you don't need the in-floor hatches on this boat. Now let's hop on in and check out the cabin on this 30-foot boat. Getting in looks like it's going to be not too challenging. And hop on in, and let's see, are we able to stand fully? Can't tell if I'm hitting a light or something. Nope. All right, so we are not able to stand completely tall, which it would be nice in a in a 30-foot boat if we were able to stand up in here, but you know, we are just short of it. But we are going to have a really nice, clean, finished cabin, and really shiny in here. It looks nice. We got an electric head, which is nice to see. We're gonna have access to our switches and our fuses over here. We're gonna be able to take off, what's up guys? We're gonna be able to take off this mirror panel, which is gonna give you access to your electronics right behind it. We can open up this panel and you have access to all your wiring. So let's take a look. Like I said, you can always judge a manufacturer and their quality by looking at their wiring. It looks like they did a really, actually excellent job on this boat. They did a really nice job labeling all the fuse boxes for us. Let's look in there. The wiring's actually pretty dang clean looking. I am pleasantly surprised. We got some JL amplifiers. We have a banging stereo system on this boat. But nice to see that they really took pride in their quality of wiring on this boat. And you also have really easy access to your batteries. So you can flip down this panel and remove it, completely. And then we're gonna have our 4 batteries right in here, which is very easy to just slide them on out and replace them when you need to. Let's go ahead and climb out of the cabin. That was a very impressive cabin here on this 30-foot boat. Now let's go take a look at my favorite part of any boat, the helm station. Time to take a look at the helm station on this boat, and it is going to be a nice, sleek black finish on this console face. Really cool to see. Equipped with 2 12-inch Garmins that could actually be 16-inch Garmins if you'd like to upgrade it from there. We're going to have a nice deep console, so plenty of spots to put your phones, jackets, or anything if you want to throw it up there. In addition, you're also going to have a wireless phone charger right next to the steering wheel. Plenty of places to put your phones. You guys know that's a pet peeve of mine. You gotta have some place to put your phone. We're going to have some really cool lights that actually go along the hardtop too. You can see the lights going along the hardtop. Those look really cool. Glowing cup holders. I mean, this boat, if you're caring about the way it looks and you want to be flashy at night, they got you covered here on the 30 Tidewater. I can tell you that. We got a nice little switch panel that's glowing over here. This boat is going to be optioned with a joystick. Got a little glove box, JL audio controls, Seakeeper ride system with this boat. I mean, it is absolutely decked out for a beautiful helm station. We are also going to have a triple panel glass windshield with a windshield wiper on it and a controllable vented windshield, which you're going to be able to control by pressing this button up here, open and close, which is very cool. And you'll be able to use your windshield wiper with your accessory switch. We got our Garmin VHF in the hardtop, along with a little extra storage. I mean, you guys can see this is just an absolutely decked out helm station on this boat. Really nice to see on this 30 Tidewater. Now moving on to our helm seats. Very important for everybody to be comfortable on the boat. And we are going to have a bench slash bucket or captain chair hybrid. You can see we can kind of convert it to a flat bench style here. You can fit a bunch of people slide across, or if you like, you could flip up the bolsters here and you can have individual seats. You can stand up and drive if you like, which is going to make for a really easy driving experience. This is my eye level, so you can see the bow very, very easily. Overall, really nice seating quality. You got armrests. It almost feels like an airplane cockpit, the way that these seats are molded, and you have the leg set coming behind you. It's a very cool feel, especially with this black dash and everything. I'm really loving the feel of this helm station and the helm seats here on this Tidewater. Now before we go check out the cockpit and the tackle center, we are going to have a little under gunnel storage over here for your boat brushes, your gaffs, your nets, any of that kind of stuff. You're going to have this on the port and starboard side. And if you look actually on the port and starboard side, they're going to have their little scuba doors or tuna doors, whatever you like to call them, which is cool to see. Not many boats have them on both sides of the boat. So this is one of those things that we're talking about that's going to change from the prototype to the actual final product boat. This is going to be our aft facing seating, which is going to be equipped for 2 people here with armrests and everything like that. Really comfortable. Now there's actually going to be 2 options. So there's going to be this option of aft face seating with a cooler underneath. Now the thing that's going to change is currently this doesn't flip up. On the final product, this seat will be able to flip up and you'll be able to access your cooler that's underneath. And if you take a look at this 31 hybrid Carolina Bay that they have right next door, that is going to be your second option for your tackle station. That is going to be an additional live well with a little bit of like a tackle center area. So you have a choice. Would you guys like more seating? Would you like tackle center? Let me know in the comments below what you would choose. Now we do have 2 more in-floor hatches on the port and starboard side of the boat towards the stern here. And this is one of those things that is going to change for the final product. Not too much, but they're going to make this hatch over here just a little bit deeper. So you can see it's pretty shallow as it is right now. So they said they are going to make it deeper on the final product. This is going to be the perfect storage for all your kingfish, wahoo, dolphin, tuna, any of those longer, skinnier fish. Perfect to fit here on the port and starboard side in-floor hatches. Like I mentioned before, it has this matting on the underside of the hatch, which is going to make for a nice soft close and help keep this live well insulated and make your ice last even longer. And if you take a look right behind the helm seats, it actually says do not climb, but it is going to be a ladder that is going to go up to a potential second station. So this boat is going to be equipped with dual live wells on the port and starboard side of the boat. It's going to have a nice little aquarium style window here, and it's going to be a nice deep bilge. Like I said, on the port and starboard side, plenty of room to store all of your live baits like your pilchards and ballyhoo and all those kind of great bait fish we have down here in South Florida. We're also going to have 3 more additional rod holders on the port and starboard side of the boat, which is good to see that they're loading this boat up with plenty of rod holders. And speaking of rod holders, we're going to have an additional 6 up here on the leg set of the hardtop. Now the bilge access on this 30-foot boat is very impressive, and they told me they actually replicated it kind of from their 31-foot Carolina Bay hybrid boat, which we actually did a full review of as well. And we're going to come on over here to the floor and lift up these 2 latches, use these handles to assist us, and this entire thing is folding open and has a motion activated light, and now we have full access. You can see our bilge beautifully. Now, I always encourage everybody, when you come to these shows, open up the bilge, take a look around. That is really how you're going to tell the quality of the boat. And Tidewater really impressed me here. So take a look at all the rigging in here. Is honestly very impressive. I think they did a really good job at keeping everything nice and neat, nice and clean. I mean, you guys could probably see a little bit better than I can, but from what I can see, everything looks very well put together. Like they mentioned multiple times to me, they had a rush to get this boat to the boat show, and this is actually just a prototype, not actually one for sale. So big kudos to Tidewater for keeping everything clean and neat, especially rushing this boat to the show. With ease, we can go ahead and close up the bilge access, and it makes for a really nice big cockpit space over here, plenty of fishing room, and just an overall great fishing experience back here. This boat, you can see, is equipped with twin Yamahas. This is going to be Yamaha's brand new 350 V6s on this boat. They're going to be a little bit lighter than the V8 option, and it's going to get this boat flying through the water to your fishing destination. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of the video that the price of this boat was going to absolutely shock you, and I promise you that was not clickbait. This 30-foot Tidewater center console, fully offshore capable, 10/8 beam, can be yours for $296,000, which is truly amazing for the quality boat you're getting here. Like I said, good fit and finish quality, good wiring on this boat, and 22-degree dead rise. It's going to cut through the water really, really nicely. Offshore capable, long run trips. This boat can really do it all. And I can tell you there is not many 30-foot boats on the market for a price even close to that. So if you guys do have the opportunity to check out this brand new 30-foot Tidewater, I highly recommend it. When walking around this boat, I just felt you got so much for your price on this. I mean, this boat had tons of room, huge beam, lots of great features. Tidewater really knocked it out of the park with their 30 center console. Now on to number 2. We have the LTB 25 from the Palm Beach Boat Show. Welcome everybody to the Palm Beach International Boat Show 2025. Today we are at the LTB booth taking a look at their 25-foot center console. This boat is super customizable with an absolutely beautiful fit and finish. You guys have to come on board and take a look. Guys, Ryan from Livin Salty here. I am very happy to be here at the LTB booth here at the Palm Beach Boat Show, checking out their boats for the first time. Today we're on their 25-foot model, which is currently their only model available, but this is an absolutely beautiful boat. Let's go start up in the bow of the boat. Now, one thing that's going to shock you as we walk around this boat is how much room we're going to have for a 25-foot boat. Now, this is going to be a 25-foot boat from the bow to the transom of the boat, not including the bracket. So there's going to be a Welding World bracket on the back, which is going to add another 2 feet or so. So technically it's more of like a 27 length overall. But you can see we have tons of room up here in the bow to start. We have a nice anchor locker up here in the bow. Have room to store your anchor in there. but you might not need an anchor on this boat because this one is equipped with a Minn-Kota trolling motor that's going to be on a swivel mount over here. These trolling motors have absolutely taken over the center console market. Everybody's putting them on their boats. It's perfect for going out offshore, spot locking right on your spot, or maybe controlling your drift a little bit better. These things have been an absolute game changer to the market. So we're seeing them on most boats here at the boat show. Glad to see that LTB is also rigging them on their center consoles. I mean, just look at how much room there is to walk around in the bow of this boat. You can see tons and tons of room. It is absolutely massive. And one thing you're going to notice right off the bat is this big old coffin box cooler. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is a very customizable boat. So if this is not your thing, don't worry, don't click off the video just quite yet. This is completely optional. But you're going to have a big old coffin cooler, which is going to be really, really cool. Really beautiful to be able to throw some fish in here very easily. You don't have to bend down on your hands and knees and go into the deck to get to those insulated fish boxes. You can go ahead and throw it right in this coffin box cooler. This is a really nice option to have on this boat. And not only does it store lots of fish, it also has a nice little lounge seating over here. So if you have some guests that want to maybe take a rest up here, or you're fishing, maybe you're bottom fishing off the bow, and you're going to be sitting up here and sitting down, and at least you have some place to sit while you're fishing. That's what I'm trying to get to. So there's a really nice option that you can add on this LTB boat. Now don't worry, you're not going to lose out on some index storage here with this giant coffin box because they put it on top of an in-floor hatch. Look how impressive that is. That entire frigid cooler, which is not light, might I add, folded all the way open like that. And you can take a look. We have a little bit of storage underneath. Not going to be absolutely massive fish box. It is nice and long, which is nice. It's nice to see they put a really nice long fish box here. This is going to be the only fish box on this boat that's an in-deck insulated fish box. But this one's perfect. I recently got on a big wahoo, about 40 pounds, out with a Southern Fortune fishing team, and that wahoo would have fit perfectly inside this in-floor hatch here. So it is a really nice option to be able to have the in-floor storage and the above deck storage. Now we are going to have 3 more in-floor hatches up here in the bow. We'll open up the one on the starboard side. They have a little bit of stuff in here, but nice to see they added a little bit of decking material to kind of soften the close. Like I said, these are not going to be insulated, so these are going to be more storage boxes for you. We have an identical one on the port side of the boat over there. Close that one up. And in the middle, we are going to have an in-floor live wall. Take a look at that. It's a pretty decent sized live wall. Again, with a nice decking pad on there to soften the close. Really nice to have an in-floor live wall in the bow of the boat. That is not something you see on a 25-foot boat very often. Now, one thing you're going to notice as we walk through this boat is we're going to have coaming bolsters going all the way around the boat, which is going to make it nice and comfortable to lean against the side and fish. Taking a look at our forward-facing console seat over here, it is going to be very comfortable. Looks like you can maybe squeeze 2 small people if you like, probably more comfortable with just one. We don't have armrest on here, not sure if that's an option, but like I said, it is a pretty customizable boat, so I'm assuming it would be an option. And behind it, we're going to have access to our cabin. So this is going to be a bow-facing cabin. I know there's a lot of debate on which way a cabin should be opening on a center console. Bows are getting more popular. The side is more the traditional. Kind of ends up just being personal preference. But you can see you got a little half door in here. And we're going to take a look. It's going to be the home for all of our rigging. So we got a big old Simrad display, which we'll get to when we get to the helm station there. But everything looks super clean. Looks pretty neat to me. I mean, this is how you really tell the quality of a boat, is by diving in, taking a look at the wiring. You can see everything's labeled nicely. We got easy access to our batteries over here. Looks like we might have an amplifier. Overall, pretty neat, pretty clean. I mean, you guys take a look. You probably see a little bit better than I can. How'd they do on their wiring? Let me know in the comments, but I think it's looking pretty good. And underneath our forward-facing bow seating, we are going to have a cooler. Now, as we make our way towards the stern of the boat, we're gonna have additional rod holders on the port and starboard side. Looks like we have 3 over here and 3 on the port side of the boat. We're also gonna have 1 more in-floor hatch over here. Again, this is not gonna be insulated and not a finished hatch either, just like the rest of the hatches here on this boat. But it's gonna be a nice little storage box for you. They store dock lines in there. Again, all of the hatches have the decking material to soften the close and maybe help keep those hatches just a little bit cooler. Now, making our way to the helm station here, this is my favorite part of any boat, and this is absolutely shocking. Take a look at the size of the Simrad we have on this. I'll be honest, I have no idea what this is, but it is absolutely ginormous Simrad screen, which they went for one instead of two smaller ones, which kind of makes sense on this console. You can see we have a little bit narrower of a console. This is because this boat has an 8-2 beam, has a 24.5-degree dead rise. So that dead rise is going to allow you to cut through the chop absolutely beautifully. I mean, that 2 to 3 foot chop, this boat is going to absolutely cruise through. They said this boat can run up to 68 miles an hour on one setup that they have. I mean, that is insane for a 25-foot boat. So, I mean, you could see the console's a little bit on the narrower side, but you have to do that in order to leave enough room, as you can see here, to walk around the console comfortably, which they definitely left enough room. I have no complaints about walking around. So you're just sacrificing the size of the console a little bit. And you might have saw inside the console, there was no head in the boat and there was no step down into the deck. Like I said, a little bit narrow over beam kind of limits you on some stuff, some creature comforts there. So you're gonna sacrifice some comforts, but you're gonna get an amazing ride and a really, really fishy boat. We're gonna have a really nice custom switch panel over here. Got the LTB logo and all your buttons over here. You're gonna have your head unit for your stereo. We're gonna have our Simrad VHF nice and easily accessible. See, just a really nice clean dash. And if you actually look in the canvas top over here, our E-box is going to be way up forward. And that is because we are actually going to have a stand-through station on this boat, which you guys know, I love second stations and stand-through stations. Before we get to that though, let's pop open this E-box and take a look. Let's see, nice little unfinished box for a lot of wiring and stuff, but they chose to put the VHF inside the console face over here, so I would probably just end up throwing maybe some safety stuff, maybe some flares, or maybe just registration, title, that kind of stuff up in that box. Nothing crazy. Now you have a better look here up at the second station on this 25 LTB. Rigged out, we even have a Simrad display up here. Nice little controls, throttle controls, and you even get a seat. I mean, super awesome to have a second station, like I said, on a 25-foot boat. This is going to give you that height advantage that we always talk about when you're going offshore, maybe trying to spot some mahi, trying to just see some tuna maybe. It just gives you a really strong advantage when you're out there on the water. So something really cool the engineer here at LTB just gave me, this is going to be a cutout of the transom. So when they have to drill out the transom to get all the rigging for the motors through, they have to cut a hole, nice cylinder hole right here, and you can actually see the layers of fiberglass. You can see the transom material. I believe this is Cusa board here. So it gives you an idea of the quality of the boat. People that know a lot about boat buildings will be able to take a look at this, see the layers of the fiberglass, and inspect it to make sure that it was done properly. Here's an example of, I believe he said, the bilge, when they drill out the bilge on the bottom of the hull, the bilge access. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Not very often do boat manufacturers give me samples like this to actually attest to the quality of the boat that they're building. That's how you know that LTB has confidence that they're building a great boat. Taking a look at our helm seat here on this 25-foot center console, you always want your captain and your passengers to be comfortable. So over here, we're gonna have a nice dual captain slash bench hybrid. Let's see if we can move down the bolsters here. You can hop on and you can drive. You can even put our feet up on the console. That feels nice and comfortable. Here's my eye level. Kind of a little bit, you could just see the bow coming over the top of the console, so you could see, but probably a little bit more comfortably standing up. You can see a little bit better there, but flip up the bolster, flip down an armrest, and you guys are good to go to be cruising far offshore in some rough weather. This would be a very comfortable helm seat. Taking a look at our tackle center behind our helm seat here, we have a really nice tackle station. Flip on open, you have a little bit of access just to maybe do some rigging on top of this hatch and throw a couple maybe leaders and sinkers and stuff in there. It's not super deep, but if we open up our bottom one, you get a little bit more storage here. You can see, perfect. Like I said, just throwing any of your loose stuff right in here. Not gonna fit any tackle boxes in there per se, but it's just gonna be nice to put your frequently used items in this tackle center. And underneath our tackle center here, we're going to have a frigid cooler that's gonna be on a pull-out slide. Now towards the stern of the boat, we're gonna have 3 more in-floor hatches. 2 of these on the port and starboard side are going to be these big old storage hatches. I mean, absolutely massive. I'd probably end up putting the bumpers and stuff like that up on here. Like I said, none of these hatches are going to be finished, and these are also not going to be insulated, which would be a nice addition if they were insulated, because you'd be able to store a lot of fish inside all of these in-floor hatches. And if we take a look at the center hatch here, we'll open on up, and this is going to be your bilge access, which is really, really nice and big. So you can see we have our fuel water separators over here. We have our Seakeeper ride module, 2 bilge pumps on here. And this, like I said, is how you tell good quality boats. We got double hose clamps. You guys probably could see again a little bit better than I can, but from what I can see, everything looks super neat, super clean. And overall, a really nice bilge access here on this 25 LTB. Now in the transom of the boat here, where you're going to have one live well with a nice custom LTB logo lid. See in there, nice average size live well to be able to store all your live baits for the day. And combined with the in-floor live well that's over there in the bow, you're gonna have ample amount of room to be able to store those live baits. Now, one thing that I wanna point out, try to give as honest of a boat review as I can here on these videos, our gunnel heights are gonna be a little bit low in my opinion for an offshore fishing center console. You can see it's kind of like right at my kneecap there. Especially for being offshore in some rough conditions like this boat is built to be in, it'd be nice if that gunnel height was just a little bit higher. But throughout the gunnels of this boat, you're gonna see lots of rod holders. You can see some nice, beautiful screwless rod holders. Like I said, it's a very customizable boat, so you're gonna be able to put as many rod holders as you need. Now this boat in particular is a customer's boat that they brought here to the Palm Beach Boat Show, is equipped with twin Mercury 225s. Now they have loads and loads of power options for this boat. I believe they said they put a 450R single engine on one of these, and they're even looking to put a 500R single Mercury here on these boats. The 450R, they said, went up to 68 miles an hour, which is crazy for a 25-foot boat. Excited to see what they post and how that 500R performs on this boat. But there's gonna be lots of power options, so if you want a single, instead of dealing with the hassle of two engines and the extra maintenance and the extra gas, a single outboard is an option. But if you want a little bit more reliability, maybe you're doing some Bahamas runs and you want that insurance of an extra engine, the twin option is going to be a perfect package for you. So one thing that's gonna be super unique about the LTB boats is going to be their pricing structure. If you want, you can buy just this hull. They will make the deck, they will make the hull, they'll put down the basic hatches, latches, they'll give you the console, and you can go ahead, rig it yourself. They'll put the bracket on it, ready to go to rig motors. You can rig the motors, you can rig the electronics, you can put on a T-top, you can do everything yourself. That could be $70,000 and that can be yours if you are capable of doing all that stuff. That being said, their next kind of step up for $149,000, you will get a hull deck, you will get a console, you will get motors, you will get any electronics, you'll get a single Garmin or Simrad 12-inch screen on there. $150,000 and you will have a boat that's ready to hit the water and fish tomorrow. You're going to be missing some creature comforts there, but it will be ready to fish. You're not going to find any other boat on the market that's $150,000 ready to head out into the ocean. So it's really, really unique. Like I said, you can go crazy. You can get over $200,000 for this boat if you start rigging it out with ginormous Simrad screens and mink-coated trolling motors and big coffin box coolers. I mean, the pricing structure goes all the way from up high to all the way down below. So it gives everybody an opportunity to get onto an LTB boat. Now this is one of those unique boat manufacturers out there, and that always catches my eye. This boat was super customizable, really, really nice fit and finish to it, an absolute fishing machine. I mean, you guys see, you could take that boat from bare bones, nothing out the factory, to fully souped up. So that range of customization, super cool to see. Okay, and on to number one, my favorite boat that I did a walkthrough of here in 2025 goes to the Seaborn 22 from the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show 2025. Welcome to the first boat show of the 2025-2026 season. Today we are at the Seaborn booth taking a look at their 22-foot center console, which, guys, I think this is the best bang for your buck boat in this class here at the boat show. You guys gotta hop on and take a look. is going on, guys? Ryan from Livin here. Now, Seaborn here is a boat I have not checked out until this boat show, and I was walking by and saw a sign with a price tag that caught my eye immediately. You guys know I'm always looking for the affordable boats here at the boat show, and two things really caught my eye, and that was one display, which we'll show you guys in a little bit, and the price. But first, let's go ahead and start up at the bow of this boat. So up here at the bow, we are going to have a very spacious U-shaped seating. You can see over here that we could fit plenty of people. Honestly, you could probably max out the person capacity on this boat up here at the bow. Probably could fit at least 6 people. We do have a nice little removable table over here, which is gonna be perfect. Set your drinks down, hors d'oeuvres or appetizers, whatever you're having on your boat. You have a nice little removable table for that. Super cool feature on this boat. Up here, we're gonna have our anchor locker, which we'll open up for you. And take a look on in. You're not going to have a huge anchor locker here, but this is a 22-foot boat, so you aren't going to need a huge anchor and rode here to hold you in place. But you have a really spacious bow seating area. Guys, let me just reiterate to you guys, when you guys see the price at the end of this video, is going to shock you what you are getting with this boat for the price. So keep that in mind as we go through the boat. We're going to have a little bit of an in-floor storage hatch down here, which we'll open up for you. Gonna have a nice storage box. This is perfect for any maybe life jackets in here. Maybe I would throw some bumpers, some dock lines. Anything you want to store in here, you'll be able to keep it nice and easily accessible. Now on the port and starboard side, underneath the U-shaped seating, we are going to have a little storage compartment. You guys see it has a nice little blue finish in here, which is really cool. It does not appear to be a live well, which is typically indicated by blue, but it is super nice and a big storage compartment. Like I said, we have that on the port and starboard side of the boat. So over here we have our forward console seat, which honestly, upholstery quality on this boat is very good. All the seating is very comfortable. You can fit 2 people here pretty comfortably, and you do have cup holders off to the sides and armrests. This is a very comfortable forward seating situation. Now, as we make our way towards the stern of the boat, you might notice something they did that made it really spacious was they angled the gunnels back towards the side of the boat a little bit. It just makes it feel like it has a lot more room over here. This 22-foot boat does have an A6 beam, which is actually a pretty big beam for this size of boat. So it allows for more walking room along the sides, which just makes it more comfortable. We do have the console here on the port side, which we'll open up. You can take a look. You have a full electric marine head in here, which is really nice, and makes it a pretty family-friendly boat. I'm sure when you guys have your family out on the water, not everybody wants to go in the water or over the side of the boat. So you do have the option for the head. So one of the things that CRI, which is the parent company of Seaborn, Spider, and Sundance, pride themselves on is their wiring. They want to make sure they're building a boat at an affordable price, but they are not going to leave you stranded on the water because of some poor wiring job. So you can take a look on this 22-foot boat. Mind that they don't have a ton of electronics because it is a smaller boat. But you can see how neat of a wiring job they did here for the little wiring that they do have. I mean, everything is tucked away, have nice little service loops, everything's zip tied, everything's labeled, which is going to make maintaining the boat or diagnosing issues that much easier. And a lot of times, guys, when I'm looking at these affordable boats, manufacturers are gonna have to cut corners somewhere to make the boat in that price range. Wiring and plumbing is not something you want to skimp out on. Of course, the construction of the boat you don't want to as well, but that is going to help lower the price, and a lot of the manufacturers are going to not put as much work towards the wiring, which is going to take us to our display over there that we're going to show you of what the wiring on their boats do look like when they do have a lot of electronics. So this is the display I was telling you guys about. Obviously, this boat is equipped with a lot more electronics, but it'll give you a better idea of what they can do when you do put a lot of electronics on either of the brands, Seaborn, Spider, or Sundance. You guys can see, take a look at the attention to detail, the labeling, the wiring. And they said this is not just for a showpiece. This is what every boat is going to look like. This much attention to detail, which is something you love to see. Over here at the helm station, my favorite part of every boat, we're going to have a triple panel acrylic windshield. We're going to have a little glove compartment here up at the top for storage. Maybe you want to throw your title, registration, any of that kind of stuff up in there. We're also going to have a couple toggle switches up over here for your accessory map lights and other spreader lights. Now this boat, the price you guys are going to see does not include a GPS on it, but you are going to have your Suzuki speedometer gauges. You're going to have a nice little switch panel over here, some basic controls, wireless phone charger, basically all the essentials you're going to need minus MFD here on the boat. and is going to provide a suitable helm station for you. Now, one thing that is good to note on this size boat and at this price range is that you are still going to get a hardtop on this boat, and a very nice one to say the least, which when you start getting to this price range, you might see a lot of canvas tops on boats, so it's good to still have a hardtop. Now let's talk about our helm seat over here. It is very important for your captain to be as comfortable as possible. In order to keep this boat in the price range that it is, we have to have a pretty simple bench style seat. We have a little toe kick down here with a nice little marine mat, which allows you to still be comfortable while you're driving the boat. Now, it is a pretty simple helm chair over here, but nonetheless, it is still comfortable. The upholstery quality is still good, and you can definitely fit 2 more people here very easily. And for a 22-foot boat, that is a very nice helm seat. Now, just because this is an affordable boat here, it doesn't mean they didn't think about a couple comfort options, including these little blowers that they have mounted on top of the hardtop that give you a little bit more airflow for the captain here at the helm. Now, underneath our helm seat, you are going to see a little compartment. Me and Senior Salty did take it off before, but it was not very easy. Underneath this helm seat is just a big empty box. So I'm assuming it could be used for storage. Maybe there is an option that Seaborn has that you could put something else down there if you want. So I did just learn that there are a couple different levels to this model. So if you want more accessories, there are higher up packages, and there is one more that is a little bit more basic than this. And inside this, underneath the helm seat, that big empty compartment is actually going to be your battery storage for most boats. Now, underneath the gunnel here on the port side, we are going to have our freshwater and our saltwater washdown. Very convenient. Now, there are 2 ways that we can use the aft section of this boat. Right now, we have all of our seating down. It is very comfortable. If someone were to be riding through some rough waves, this is a great spot to be. But we can easily transform that and get rid of these cushions. Now, we don't have the most amount of room in the cockpit space over here, which is just one little con, but they said they had some plans in the future to maybe change that. But for right now, you can stand up on here and have plenty of room to actually walk around. So you can see, you've got plenty of room to walk around. So if you did need to net a fish or gaff a fish, or maybe run over to the side to grab a rod, you do have room to walk around still on this boat, which is nice. And on the port side of the boat, we do have one live well over here, which you can see is a nice little deep, looks like probably a little over 5-gallon live well. Now, one thing I was informed of, that forward console seat can be turned into a live well, as well as our back hatch right over here, which we'll take a look at in 1 second. Now, this is that last hatch that we were talking about. So right now it's just a regular fish box with a drain, but oh, look at that, they do have the Seaborn logo into the bottom of the hatch, which is a nice touch. Like I said, this one could also be plumbed for a live well as well. So if you're doing a lot of live bait fishing, maybe you want to add a couple more live wells on this boat. So that was our starboard side hatch. On the port side, we'll flip open this second hatch, which is going to be our bilge access. So right now you can see they have 1 battery thrown in here, but I think that's just on this model. I think most of the time the batteries are going to be out of the bilge and underneath the helm seat. But this is going to give you a good idea of some accessibility. This, guys, just don't mind this. This is just for the boat show to rig up a couple lights and stuff right now with the alligator clips. That is not what it's normally going to look like, but this will give you an idea of how easy it is to access all your pumps. Very easy. Everything looks pretty neat and very accessible here. When you start to get to these smaller boats, a lot of times they kind of forget about the access, and they'll stick one little compartment in the back of the boat that you have to kind of stick your head halfway down, upside down. Not easy to work in if you need to. But they did think of the bilge access very smartly on this boat and give you a big old accessible hatch. Let's take a look at the back of the helm seat over here. So we're gonna have a big old leg set that's going to have 5 rod holders on the back. So you got plenty of rod holder storage. I like how they put it a little bit further up so it's not gonna be in the way when you are walking by. We are gonna have 2 additional rod holders on the port and starboard side, which are gonna be perfect for trolling a couple lines out. Really nice features here in the cockpit of this Seaborn. Now, I'm sure you guys are all waiting for the price, and we will get into that in 1 second. But one thing I want to point out really quickly was a thought put into the hull design is this boat is a step hull, which you guys don't know gives you a little bit more lift in your boat when you're riding, which allows for a little bit extra fuel efficiency. That is awesome to see and shows that they put a little bit of thought and care into the hull design of this boat. Now, this boat with a Suzuki 200, which has a max horsepower rating of 250, here at the boat show, as you guys have seen with all these accessories, is here for $74,000. Now wait, before you tell me that's not affordable, you can lose a couple of the features, and this boat can start as low as $62,000. Now that caught my eye because you guys are always looking for the most affordable boats here at the boat show. So when I saw this number, I knew I just had to show this boat to you guys. Now, I know some of y'all are gonna think it's crazy that I put such a bare bones boat as my #1 for the year, but Prior to this boat show, I hadn't really heard of Seaborn, maybe once or twice, but nothing really crazy. And this was my first time checking them out. And to be honest, I was just super impressed with their attention to quality. Having that little display about their wiring really impressed me. It just shows that they actually really care about the product that they're making, and they're doing it at a very big scale. So big kudos to Seaborn. You really caught my attention. I really like what you're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your new boats in the future. Keep your eye on them, guys. I think they're gonna be doing big things here in the industry very soon. And that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for our 2025 top 5 boat walkthrough videos. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Are there any boats that I didn't review this year that you guys think belong on the top 5 list? Would love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for an amazing another year of 2025. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit the like button. Definitely consider subscribing down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until my next video next year, remember to keep living salty.